Clerk, call the roll, please.
Ron Kinsley.
Here.
Mark Helwig.
Here.
Randy Newman is excused. Chuck Van Etten. Brian Bissonette. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item is pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Number 4, certification compliance open meeting laws.
This meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Thank you. Meeting agenda. The agenda is set. Public comment. Anybody have anything for public comment? Okay, thank you. Number 7, consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, which was May 8th, 2024.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Helwig, second by Mr. Van Etten to approve as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Hagberg has number 8. He give us a written report. He usually checks in once or twice a month with me and asks that he doesn't have to come to the meeting unless someone specifically has a question that they want him here. So he does put together a nice report. Andy, anything you want to add to his report?
No, I mean, we've got, like I had mentioned, and he's mentioned, with this addition completed, we're working through a bunch of other projects throughout the building. You can see in his report, the low voltage wire that's been running, and they're still running it today even for the access card readers. The materials are supposed to be in for the security fence outside of branch 2 this week. We've did some rearranging in the clerk treasurer's area. So if you're in there, you'll notice that we've swapped their locations just to have a little bit better security and flow of traffic, people through that area. And then we also are turning Lynn's former office in the clerk's office into a mailroom that'll have external access so we don't have foot traffic through the treasurer's office. And then we've got the go-ahead from the court system coming up to make some alterations to the clerk of courts area, as well as put a security window into the district attorney's office. So there's a list of projects. Tim and I were going through it today, and just reminding him that it's a list. We just check things off as we can get to them, and we'll keep working through it.
Question regarding the mural. What did we decide? Anything?
Yeah.
Thank you. Moving on.
You just. Serious?
Put a door.
Put it over. Number 9, Sawyer County Airport, Mr. Leslie.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry I didn't get my report until today. Any questions out of the gate?
Tell us the highlights, my friend.
Airport's been busy. We got a couple events coming up here in the next month, next Saturday, not this. We've got Young Eagles happening at the airport, and that's always a really good program. We typically have 30, 40 kids come out, and then there'll be, parents and grandparents all to boot. It's always, our holding tank at the airport usually takes a hit that day.
She was 17, flew to Superior and back. That was the coolest thing.
Good.
So Young Eagles, the 22nd, and then the Civil Air Patrol have their fundraiser. We kind of pile it all together. It's an open house. It's a fly-in. We try to get as much information out there as we can, but we haven't gone, large scale like we used to do in the past. We had probably 2-3 years in a row where it was thunderstorms and rain days, and there's lots of people at the airport waiting for things to happen that never did. We're pretty small in that capacity, so we've got a couple things lined up for attractions, and we just hope that folks can fly in.
Maybe Lynn could send out a reminder a couple days prior to that.
July 7th, Sunday. I know that there's a few different county employees that have approached me about coming out to help.
Oh, good.
I think they usually do on average about, I think it's from 7 to 1. They usually do about 500 plates. quite a few people come out. It'd be really nice if we have a couple jets in the tarmac, because everybody really likes to see those.
And that's the same time that you have that's the same time you have the Civil Air Patrol and they do the flights? When the flight goes-
No, that's two different. The EAA, Environmental Aircraft Association, puts on the free flights. That's the 22nd. Otherwise, as always, the airport's busy, really busy. It's gonna keep getting busier. Lots of big jets coming. We had a big one in this last month. It's the first time we've seen that aircraft. It's a Global 7500. It's gonna be here again tomorrow. That's a lot of airplane. Fine for our airport, but the airplanes can hold so much fuel, and whenever they come in and out of us, they're just coming in from short distance, so they're light.
So where did this plane come from there?
This one flew in from Denver and it went to San Jose. So you'll see in my report that I hate to put too much information out there, but we have picked up a couple new customers, a couple new people. One is from, I was trying to figure it out on the map here. It's Southern Illinois. It's down by Paducah somewhere. I don't know. They got a King Air. Apparently they're gonna be flying in and out all the time. They've got a bunch of kids and families, so hey, that'd be great. But part of that was just because there's an airport that's 12 miles away from where their house is, or no, 12 minutes around Laker.
Okay.
So, airport's busy. You'll see lots of jets out there, jets parked outside, on the tarmac pretty regularly this time of year. Usually call, if we get enough airplanes outside, we'll call the sheriff's department and ask them to put some extra patrols on. You know, so I'm sure we'll do that a few times in the next month or two. You know, you get,
Aware of that prior.
what was that?
They are aware of that prior.
I should probably touch base with our sheriff on that topic. There are a couple different things to talk to him about, but you know, you get a couple $100 million worth of airplanes sitting out in the tarmac. It's not a bad idea to have some extra patrols on. That usually doesn't happen a lot. These airplanes don't sit for very long. Usually they're moving quite a bit, but otherwise sales have been good. Our fuel sales, that's our big thing, just selling gallons, and we're doing good this year. A little nervous about next year, but we'll take that as it comes.
Because of the runway.
Yeah, we'll be shut down. It's gonna be, yeah,
How long was it gonna be?
30 working days. It's really, really aggressive schedule. But hey, we had bids, came in, they weren't competing, two different companies where each one was the sub. I think one was an asphalt and the other one was an excavating. That's pretty common. So they definitely wanted the job and they came in, you know, right at what the engineer's estimates are, and they don't disclose those. They can't. So as far as budgeting, we shouldn't have any surprises. You know, a lot of our stuff is pretty well fixed too. I don't think we're not gonna have any wetlands issues with the project. You know, it's basically just, you know, tearing it up, regrading the very top layer and putting it back down again. The lighting infrastructure changes, a lot of those costs will be fixed. I mean, I don't anticipate seeing issues.
Okay.
So
Questions?
appreciate it.
Thank you, Derek. When you're done, got a picture of the airplane, let's show these other committee members, please. Thank you. Next item, number 10, Highway Commissioners Report. Mr. Pennell.
Thank you. Highway Department's been super busy this month. We finished reclaiming shoulders on all state highways, and we've reclaimed shoulders on a few of our county roads right now. We've been adding gravel on some of the shoulders. They're in desperate need. Depending on budget this fall, what we have left, we're gonna try to clean up some more of these shoulders. The massive work was completed on State Highway 48, and the scrub seal is gonna be scheduled for August 5th. That goes to Copley Road out to Highway 40. And then we also did County Road N in Mastic to get rid of all those thumpers through there, and a portion of County Road DD and G. Just an update on the C Bridge. Lundo was awarded the project. We're expecting a contract in July. So we're probably looking at a September, October project. So I'll provide an update once they receive the contract and I get their schedule. And I'll also provide the temporary ATV route at that time too.
That's this year.
That is this year, yes.
Thank you.
And that bridge actually got funded 100%, so we just had to pay for design. Culvert replacement, County D is done for our paving. We have one culvert left to replace on County C, and then we're all ready for paving there. That'll give it time for people to drive over and compact everything down. We're looking at a September paving for those projects. And then depending on the budget, I'm also looking at that stretch that Andy and I looked at last year on County Road E. From Jonans to Mission Road, it's about 1.25 miles of paving with one culvert replacement. So I'm pretty sure I can still fit that into. Mowing operations actually began on Monday. We started down towards Winter on County W. We did a little bit on B just to run the tractors and make sure everything was in good working order, and we found out one tractor wasn't. The DEF system went out, so we had to haul it up to Lulich. But we got the mowers down on W now. Everything's working good. And then when I did write this, the ATV signs were ordered. I did receive the ATV signs for the county on Tuesday. Well, yeah, yesterday. We're probably 75% signed. We'll be done signing tomorrow. And then I'll let you guys know and announce that everything's signed and open. We have two culverts to replace on County Road E by Indian Lake Road. We have a dip in the road. That unfortunately that road was paved 3 years ago and two culverts were not replaced and the whole bottoms are gone and the road's sinking pretty fast. So we're gonna be getting on those in 2 weeks. I've already spoke with Jason out at LCO to give him a week's notice we're gonna detour traffic around there because we're gonna have to shut down the road for probably 2 days. And then again, right now we're crack sealing on Highway 48, and I did have 2 meetings yesterday with LCO and Washburn and Rusk on the comprehensive safety plan. Right now, Coleman is about 2 months behind, just because they're trying to gather data for our county and stuff. A part of what I'm looking at for Sawyer County is with the new ATV routes being open and the snowmobiles and the bicycles. So I'm kind of looking at a safety plan for that, along with our signage and our speed limits and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm going to be focusing on for our safety plan. And then Dustin Thompson's going to be here next week to provide confined space, fire extinguisher, and silica training. And our MSHA training we completed last month. And then the only other thing is, so I have multiple estimates to villages and towns out there. I did a culvert estimate for Draper, which I didn't get. I was at the Town 100 meeting earlier, just before this meeting, and they accepted my estimate for crack sealing 10 roads. It averages out to 5.74 miles. So we'll be starting that here shortly. And then I've got multiple estimates out to other towns, and then I'll be providing estimates to the town of Radisson and the town of Meadowbrook also here shortly. So, and that completes my report.
You cannot forget Highway 77.
I got to get with our leg man.
But I mean, it's awesome that
Yeah.
you've got that working.
Yeah.
Almost done.
It is, it's been a lot of phone calls from people complaining out there, but that's what you get.
Yeah, but the end product.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any questions?
Thank you. Letter B, control access policy, discussion possible action, driveway maps and driveway permits.
Okay, so this is part of our control access project that runs from Chippewa Trail all the way down to Round Lake School Road. Terry Walport has requested a driveway to be installed just at right next to the Complete Welding and Prop Shop, if you guys know where that is, just up from Sheptick Lane. We had looked at it. I had Steve look at it. We approved it. I'm just bringing it to the committee for approval because it's part of our controlled access.
Okay. Questions, concerns? Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the permit for access driveway to County Trunk Highway.
Mr. Bissonnette?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Hellwig, second by Mr. Bissonnette to approve. Discussion, Mr. Bissonnette?
No, I just know. So I was just trying to look on the map. So this is pretty much parallel to
Turn your light on, Brian, please.
Yes. Would be just west of it.
Turn your light on.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know where you're talking.
Yep.
Want to make sure.
Any other questions, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Brian, may I ask, is there any progress with ATV, UTV trails out there that you would want to share? And if there's none, that's all right.
Well, we might have a little problem, not with the road roads, but, I was telling Kathy just a while ago.
Turn your light on, please.
One of our trails, Trail 29, actually goes across private property that we didn't know. We had the landowner come in the other day and tell us that they're gonna close it down, so I'm gonna try to work on them. We're working on a reroute right now, so it doesn't affect the road routes, just the trail.
Okay.
So
Number 11, outside committee updates. You want to touch bases with what that is?
Yes, we've added that to all of the committee agendas. And it's just an opportunity for the board members who may serve on committees on behalf of the county to report back. Typically, it'd be, in this committee, it would be something maybe related to transportation, like the Transit Commission or Planning Commission or Traffic Safety Committee, things like that. If we have members on the committee who serve on those and want to bring back a report, just trying to have a better flow of information. A lot of times we're stakeholders in those outside groups, or we're members or oversight, and people go serve on those and we never hear anything back unless there's a problem. So we're just trying to encourage board members to bring back a report to those committees.
Are we gonna have that on the full county board or just state committees, or what's your thoughts?
I think we're going to include it on the county board agenda as well, because there are a few members who maybe serve on a committee that serve on an outside committee that don't serve on the committee that it makes sense to report to here. So it's kind of ironing out here as we go through the first 3 months. I think now board members are on alert, so to speak, to kind of think of things to bring back when they're at those committees or boards.
Try to remember. Things up, transit.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Can we have an administrator report on here? Number 12, future agenda items. Does anybody have anything specifically that they would like to have reviewed, brought to their attention, or brought to the committee's attention, that to broaden the horizons a little bit, we'll call it? If you have something, even if you don't have anything now, if you think of something later that you want brought up for like next month, certainly contact Andy, Lynn, or I, and we'll certainly get it on the agenda if we feel it's appropriate.
Just thinking of this while I'm sitting here, so it's maybe a bad time to bring it up, but I don't know of anything. Like we're through the ATV discussion that was taking up quite a bit of time. We had the airport master plan this winter. We're not going to see that till this fall. So I'm not aware of anything real that should be, coming to the agenda that will take up time. If we have a light agenda in July, do you want to maybe start the meeting by meeting out at the airport to see the airport, or we could have John line up a few highway projects that we could visit first before we have a meeting?
An example, we've done this in the past, so everybody kind of knows. We used to, before we'd combine so many committees, we would have a highway committee, and that highway committee would travel together. We'd get a Nabocagin Transit bus, and we'd travel the coming projects of that year. And then Nate DeLong used to take us out for a barbecue. But
As long as it's on the agenda.
Yeah, right,
You
so,
can stop and have a burger if you want.
no, we can skip that part. But so if we went to the highway shop first, or just,
Yeah, we could, yeah, we'll look at how about, if I don't see anybody objecting, we'll look at the agenda and then we'll coordinate a plan of where to start the meeting.
We can do
line
it.
up the bus.
At the airport, we can set up the conference table. It's in the pilot's lounge. We did that just recently. We could put 10, 12 people in there, no problem. I just don't know. I mean, we're on the county internet there, so I don't know
Yeah.
if Lynn would be able to hook up to it, but I mean, the chairs aren't as comfortable. But
No, the only difficulty with having a meeting is now we have virtual meetings and recordings. So it's nice to have them here, but I don't know that we could just have a meeting without having any action items on it and just make it a tour. And we have to put the agenda up so the public knows where we're gonna be. But we can keep that in mind for next month's meeting.
I'd definitely like that as far as, projects.
yeah.
I mean, we see that on paper, but,
So we'll keep that in mind, see what we can do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Andy. 13 correspondences, reports, conferences. Anybody have anything? There's potential for 3-inch hail, so drive safely and get home before it hits, if it hits, and hope it doesn't. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.